Good morning or afternoon, or what time you guys watch this video. This is Group E's presentation. This is John. We have Dylan and Caleb here as well. We're gonna talk a little bit about um, our project and get started here. Our project is going to show the efficiency of MATLAB is going to be truck logistics. We're going to talk about the reasoning, the efficiency, how we will accomplish our goals, and then we'll also show our coding, the ins and outs of our coding. Um, the purpose of of why we chose this, and the purpose of this uh, program is to help speed up the logistics of calculating the costs of the trucks regarding the size of the truck, the material that's getting transported, the amounts of tanks that will be used, um, the gas prices of the miles that will be transported as well. And all of that will be calculated in MATLAB and will spit out the cost of everything in a quick and efficient way for truck drivers or companies. Um, we will show our current coding, what we have done so far, and talk a little bit about what we will plan on putting in our codes to fine tune it as well. Um, Summary, more or less, to wrap things up a little bit before we show our live edit is logistics is important in most businesses to help the flow of cost. People are hired to do logistics. We aim for our code to be the middleman of the process to help companies save money, reduce errors and waste in terms of cost. And here is our solution. We have Dylan, Caleb coming up to show our code.
Sorry. Alright, so here will be our live demo of our coding that we came up with to show a more efficient way so that a company can output certain tank sizes, shipments, deliveries on time. So first off, we're going to get more into what the customer is looking for, customer needs, what tank they're looking for, size, the simple stuff, so we can get it on the correct truck and shipped out in a timely manner. So here we'll go with a S tank. It'll then ask you for height. We will put input 48. And it'll then say enter a height smaller than 8.5 or greater than 0. We'll do 5.6. It'll then tell us width. We'll do 24 for our width. Same thing will pop up. Please enter a width smaller than 8.5 or greater than 0. So let's say 7.6. Okay, then it'll ask for the length of the tank. Do 36. Okay. And then it'll ask for the thickness of the walls of the tank. 1.5. Okay, then it'll ask us to please enter a thickness smaller than 0.25 or greater than 0. So we'll do 0.15. Then it'll ask for the material of the tank. Our materials are aluminum and steel, which for aluminum, it will be symboled as A and steel will be symboled as S. We'll go with aluminum. Then it'll ask for the number of tanks you would like. We'll say they need 5 tanks. Now we'll go more into the delivery aspect of it, how many far do we have to go, mileage and stuff like that. We'll say 500. And then it'll ask for a expedited shipping or normal shipping. We will then do no. And then what will be popped up is the order, the approximate days of delivery, material cost, labor for production cost, shipping labor, shipping cost, tax, and then the total. And then it'll ask, has payment been received? We'll say yes. And then we'll say how many days has it been since payment has been received. We'll do 1, and then it'll tell us that there's approximately 0 more days until your order has been delivered. And then that'll be it. And then here will become Dylan with more of a in-depth description into what the code is.
Hi y'all, this is Dylan. Hope y'all are having a nice day. So we're going to break down the code at its actual level. So starting off, we just have a function that will clear the commands and also the workspace. So after that, we have the greeting for the customer, and then asking what type of tank we'll have. That'll either be a square or spherical tank. And we have a while loop right here that will prevent the user from going forward, or the customer in this case, until they have selected S or C in one shape, or either in capital or non-capital version. So and once that, it'll keep prompting the error, please enter either S or C. And it has the input function right here with a string as your input. After this, it'll have your different type, an if-else loop right here that'll determine the different types of height, the different height, widths, or lengths that you can have. The reason that we selected the numbers here is the average flatbed truck for a semi, that is towed by a semi, is going to be about 8.5 feet wide, and it's 4 feet tall. However, you can go up to 8.5 feet as far as what it'll carry, typically. And then length of them is 48 feet. So as long as they stay generally within those parameters for the square, it is good to go. And we have functions that'll prevent those from being any greater than 8.5 or any less than or even equaling 0. And then for the spherical, we have the radius and then the length. So length is the same thing as the square. And then as far as the radius goes, it's going to be about 4.25, because that's half of 8.5. So it's, as a circle, it's the same height as it is width. So that'll remain the same. And we have calculations at the end of each of that, the if and else. So one of them is going to be the AS, the area, AS, and then the ACS. And it's going to be the area used by the cylinder or the square on the truck if it was a square. So in the square's case, it will remain the same. The circle will be made into a square, as even though the computer might take in, oh, hey, there's still space left on this truck. However, there's not really, because the circles are taking up most of that space. There's just little bits that can add up to add more onto that. So moving down, you can choose your material. It's the same thing. It'll prevent you from moving on until you have your chosen material correct. So that'll be aluminum or steel. After that, you can you can enter in how many of this specific tank that you want on the truck. And these are the loops that will let you know how many tanks of the specific size and shape that you chose could fit on one truck. So moving on, you will have a function that will calculate the cost of the tank's materials in total. So it'll basically just make that the square just a solid square, and then calculate that function by that. So we convert it to the square feet to pounds, and then multiply the square feet, the pounds, by how much aluminum or steel will cost respectively for each of those. So, and then you have your tank labor, because of course there'll be labor that is associated with creating the tank. So you'll have a function right here that'll take in shipping distance, and it'll offer the option for expedited or normal shipping. The expedited shipping is basically where there will be 2 truck drivers. So typically 2 truck drivers can cover 1,000 miles in a single day, whereas a single truck driver can only cover 650 because of laws surrounding how long a driver can operate a vehicle as far as for business. So, and it'll also calculate the cost of that of shipping labor, and then also cost of truck operations. So typically shipping labor is going to cost about 50 cents per mile. And then as far as operating the truck, it will cost about $1.45 per mile. And that'll take into account everything as far as fuel, insurance, as far as maintenance on the vehicle, and so on and so forth. So, and then this function right here will show you how expedited the further that you get. Well, as far as distance that you need to cover, the better it'll be. Because it'll get there faster with 2 truck drivers because they'll be able to cover more space in a singular day. Moving on, it'll tell you how many days it'll approximately take. So, and then it will calculate your subtotal, the tax, and then the total, and spit those out. After that, it'll prompt the user to either declare whether the payment has been received or not, and it'll let you know how many days you have left since until your order will be delivered, or if payment has not been received, it'll tell you have a nice day. And that will be the last bit of our program. After this, the only thing that we might want to do to improve this, it will be import a GPS of some sort, if that is possible. Hope y'all have a nice day. Bye-bye.